What up? What up? What up? This is Rec League Podcast, man. My name is Randy Little. That's probably the worst thing I am bad at as far as this podcast is introducing myself off top. Um, in my opinion, this is a very special episode of the podcast. It's the 21st, man. 21st is always special. And it would have been the 21st a few episodes back if some real life madness didn't ensue. Things happen, life happens. There might be Sundays where I have to not record because something went down. But on this episode, man, it's special to me because this is an idea that I have had for a while. I want to talk to movie collectors, and you go fishing, you get some nibbles, you get some bites, you pull something in. I got a couple nibbles, and I pulled in a few cats that I'm really excited to talk to. Some familiar faces, some new, and I have questions already typed out and ready to go, and I'm gonna ask those to those individuals. And then sports, I got NBA free agency, couple homies. One homie I've been trying to get on the pod for a while. Adult activity prevented him from getting in. But brace yourself. Legacy back. Legacy. Legacy, man. Got him on multiple segments. He gonna talk free agency, react to all the madness that's been going down. And then he gonna talk about that Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. And then I got International O talking free agency as well. He got some pixelated video because he's literally international. He's overseas, so just bear with me on that. His sound is a little distorted. His video is a little pixelated, but I think for the most part we can use it. And then of course I got bars, man. Y'all know I got bars, man. But as I say, man, this is the Rec League Podcast. We the Walmart of podcasts. We're not your first choice, but we got a little bit of everything. You go in for a little bit. You go in for the movies. You go in for the sports. You go in for one segment. Hopefully you come out with more than what you thought. Let me recap the Rec League poll questions over the past couple weeks because I threw some fun ones out there. Y'all know, obviously, it was the end of June. So I asked, what was your favorite June release? Choices: Dark Phoenix, Men in Black, Child's Play, Toy Story. Toy Story wins with 50%. Dark Phoenix shockingly got 42% of the votes. And Child's Play got 8%. I don't know what to say about Men in Black not getting a single vote. July, on the flip side of the coin, I ask, what July release are you most looking forward to? I picked Spider-Man, Stuber, The Lion King, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for the choices. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood wins with 44%. And Spider-Man got 31%. The Lion King got 19%. Stuber got 6%. And, July is kind of light for releases. So, that's pretty, evenly voted. And then a little fun poll question I think I did last minute was, who is your favorite theatrical Spider-Man? Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Shameik Moore, who voiced Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse, if you were unaware. And Tom Holland wins because I feel like most people in 2019 should vote for what's current. But he's my favorite. Yeah, he's my favorite too. I ain't trying to bash nobody. But for more comic accurate reasons, of course. Tobey Maguire gets 32 and Andrew Garfield gets 23. I think Shameik Moore was robbed of some votes. He was great as Miles Morales, but he only got 5% here. And let me find the more current poll questions. I did, because Crawl came out, not counting Jaws, because that's what everybody would pick. What's your favorite When Animals Attack movie? My choices were Anaconda, Lake Placid, Deep Blue Sea, and Eight-Legged Freaks. And Deep Blue Sea wins this with 57%. Anaconda got 21. Eight-Legged Freaks got 14. Lake Placid got 7. My crawl review is on my personal YouTube page, man. Just search Randy Little. You can look for that. And then I said, with Stuber coming out this weekend, starring Dave Bautista, who, in my opinion, has a pretty underrated filmography. Dude, he's in the MCU. He was in the James Bond movie. He was in Blade Runner. I think he's got the best filmography of any wrestler, damn near ever. But my choices were Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Dave Bautista. You comment Stone Cold, you comment John Cena. Triple H did a Blade movie. But Bautista wins this with 57%. The Rock got 29. Hulk Hogan got 14. Long live Suburban Commando. And no votes for Roddy Piper, man. That's a shame. And then finally, I had a reason to do a non-movie related poll question. I just asked, which NBA offseason move has you the most ready for the season to start? Anthony Davis, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook. Kawhi Leonard got 45%. Ain't mad at it. I think the Clippers are instant contenders. And then Anthony Davis got 27%. And PG, Paul George got 18. Russell Westbrook got 9. That should have been a little more even because all those moves were crazy. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to talk about some recent releases, man. Y'all know how I do. I do this every show. And recently in theaters, in between episodes, the Tuesday, 4th of July week, Spider-Man Far From Home came out. Very fun. I reviewed it. Check that out. Midsummer come out on the 3rd. I didn't see that one. And then this past weekend, like I just said on the poll question results, Crawl came out. Stuber came out. Reviewed both of those. Check those out. Next weekend, The Lion King comes out. It's also Comic-Con weekend. Hopefully we get a lot of dope news. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new Quentin Tarantino movie finally comes out. Insanely hyped for those. Recently on Blu-ray and DVD, this past Tuesday, Gotham came out. The final season of Gotham came out. And High Life, starring Robert Pattinson, came out from A24. Haven't seen that one. I'm pretty excited to eventually watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so gotta check out new Batman. Man. Y'all know how I do. And then last weekend for me was kind of light. I grabbed that straight to video Escape Plan movie. But like other than that, like I don't even know what came out because I didn't buy anything, so I don't know what came out. So when I get back, I will be joined by guests and we will discuss their movie collection. Like I said, man, super hyped to actually complete this, man. Rec League Podcast. Well, here we go. Like I said at the top of the pod, I'm going to talk to movie collectors. And first and foremost, got my guy, new face to the show. When I got somebody new on the show, I have them introduce themselves. So if you want to go government name, Instagram, social media handle, it's up to you, man.
Already. IG name is Vinny_Love, man. My government is Vincent Everline, man. I'm 40 years old. Been collecting Blu-rays since 2010, but I've been collecting movies since Lord knows when, bro. Yeah. Way back in the VHS days, bro.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's been a minute. And before I knew it, the habit, it just gradually increased over the years.
Hey, that's how it goes, man. First question I ask everybody, because I feel like this is what everybody wants to know. Just how many movies you own. You want to break it down by format, Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, or if you want to give a grand total?
Man,
it's on
I'm
you.
Gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I counted my two shelves. My two main shelves a few days ago. I was at like 1,800, but I haven't got around to count the rest of them. I'm gonna give it a good estimate, man. I don't know if I can flip my camera around or not. Can I flip my camera around?
Yeah, if you can work the buttons.
Okay, let me try to flip this bitch. Let's see. Okay, nah, that ain't it. Well, I can just do this right here. My first two shelves is like 18. All these like came like 1,800. I'm gonna give a good estimate between like at least 2,000, between 2,000 and 2,500.
Okay.
At the most, yeah. At the most, maybe more, man. Cause I buy pretty much every week.
Yeah, man. Tuesdays, man.
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to them Tuesdays. So,
yeah.
What do you have like any exclusive versions, exclusive special editions, box set? Like what you got in your collection that you're most proud that you own?
Man, that Sopranos Blu-ray. I'm glad they finally dropped the Sopranos on Blu-ray. I got Black Panther on 3D. One of the guys from IG, he actually ordered it for me, man. Way across one of them websites, Kimchi DVD or some stuff. Everybody talking about Korean website. Got Black Panther 3D, and I was proud of that.
Yeah. That Sopranos box set is dope. I got one of them.
Yeah, I got it for the low, like around Black Friday last year. It was like $49.99. I had a few awards to go with it, so I got it for like $30, $40. So I was just happy to add that to the collection, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't write none of these answers down, bro. I'm trying to freestyle. It's a lot more than that, but let me think. It's Sopranos for sure. The Wire collector set.
Yeah.
That's a dope set. It's a lot, man. But yeah, for the most part, those though. Oh, Game of Thrones steel books, man. I got the season 1 through 4, and I'm on a hunt for season 5 through 7. Game of Thrones steel books.
Let me see.
As the most recently, that'll be some of my most proudest stuff right there.
You got anything that you own that you haven't seen?
Man, heck yeah. I got Gotham season 1, 2, 3. I ain't completed the set yet. I think I watched one season. I ain't got around to finishing the season up. And Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
I might be ashamed to say this here, but I bought that like a couple years ago. Never watched it. Never watched it as a child. Got a few, man.
I don't think I've seen it since I was a kid.
Yeah, I heard about it when I was a child, and I knew what it was. A female friend of mine, she referred it to me. You need to get that Willy Wonka. Yeah. I'm like, I bought it. Never got around to watching. That's one I got, man. I got a whole stack of movies up under my table that's I haven't watched, bro. I got Mayhem with what's the little guy name from The Walking Dead? Glenn. What's his name?
Oh man, Steven Yeun.
Yeah. Mayhem. I got that. Been to get around to watching. I ain't watched it yet. But yeah.
Okay. Last question. Is it anything out there that you're looking for, like something rare, hard to find that you want to add that you just haven't been able to yet?
Man, it's a couple in the A24 collection. I think you posted on Instagram the other day. With Robert Pattinson in A Good Time. I need that for my collection.
Yeah. Hey, but if he wasn't cast as Batman, like I wouldn't even look for it.
Right.
But I heard it's good. I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah, man. That's one for sure. There's a couple more A24s I need to complete my collection. I think A Ghost Story, First Reformed. It's about 3 from the A24. You know how it is when you collect it. You want your collection complete, even if the second and third one, it's trash. You still want it complete.
Hell yeah.
Those are a few, man, from the A24 collection. Man, I need to complete my stuff.
All right. Before we wrap it up, you got any questions for me about my collection or anything?
Man, how many movies you own, Randy? Because I ain't gonna lie, you one of the first. Let me just say this here real quick. When I first got on Instagram, bro, and I started posting movies, I knew, but I didn't know it was as many people that collect like I do. So when I started looking around, like I started getting followers from, I'm like, oh, these people, I was excited. Like, okay, it's a whole gang of people all around the world collect like you. I'm thinking everybody's switching to digital.
Man. Physical media, where is that?
And I remember you, Randy, you was one of the first people, bro, who used to post on a regular basis.
Yep. I try to post every week. It just depends on what I add, you know what I'm saying? Like, some Tuesdays come and go, and it just ain't nothing I want to get.
Right.
Off top of my head, I think I'm around 1875.
1875?
Just movies, not counting TV or DVD.
Right. That's a whole nother count. Yeah. You how you feel about the 4K upgrades, man? You feel it? Do you feel as though that they worth it? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't pay regular price, man. I got a little plug.
Yeah.
Got kind of.
Yeah, I seen you on that Waterworld the other day.
Yeah, that's the only reason I kind of be getting them for so cheap. But how you feel about the 4K upgrade, man?
Man, I think around the time like Thor Ragnarok and Coco came out, I
Okay.
almost converted, but I'm one of them dudes that if I get one, like I'm gonna have to start upgrading everything,
I
and
know.
it'll just become way too expensive, and I'll become obsessive. Like, oh man, well, this is about to come out, that's about to come out. I gotta go back and get that.
Right.
So I don't want to get into that. And it's like I still got like maybe 50 or so DVDs, and as soon as those come on Blu-ray, like I'm on it. Like the DVD is gone. Like I heard, don't hold me to it, but I heard Undercover Brother coming out on Blu-ray in August.
Wow.
And I'm definitely grabbing that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right in the middle of what you just said. I'm in the middle of doing that right now. You see, I post Gladiator, I Am Legend. I'm in the middle of trying to get all my stuff that they released off just to have it to the collection. So if I need to make some extra money later, I can always get rid of some of my Blu-rays that I got have double copies of it. I'm right in the middle of that transaction right now, trying to anything that's available on 4K. I'm trying to get it.
Yep.
Just to have it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It'd be too much money spent.
It do, bro. It really do. It's a hell of a habit, though.
And they redoing all the Marvel movies, but with that generic old artwork.
Yeah,
I hate that cover art.
Yeah, it is kind of trash. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
But then the Best Buy exclusive steelbooks get the OG art, and it's like, man, that's frustrating.
Right.
So I'll just stick with what I got.
Especially if you got a good quality TV. Some of the stuff look the same. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I watched Gladiator last night. It's a difference. It's a slight difference in some of it. Most of the older movies in 4K is what I've been realizing. Like you can watch some of these Marvel movies in Blu-ray on a good quality TV. I mean, I watched it and I turn around and watch it a month later on 4K and be like, I don't really see a big difference.
It look the same.
Right. Then a lot of people they be into the Dolby Atmos and all that stuff. I just want to get a good, clear quality picture.
Yeah.
My little soundboard, I'm good. I ain't really too picky on that. But as far as my picture quality, I'm good on that. My sound good, I'm good. I don't get too all advanced with the surround by and all that there. I'm good.
Cool.
Like I said,
cool.
I'm 40 years old. I'm laid back. I'm simple, man. But
I feel you.
Ain't like that Blu-ray quality though, man.
But yeah, man, I think that'll do it. I appreciate you participating. You the one new face I was able to get on the show today.
Okay.
So I appreciate you.
Man.
I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Like September, November, I'll come up with some new questions, try to get some new people in.
Cool.
Switch up questions for y'all that did it this time.
Okay.
But good sports, hip hop, man. I'll try to get you back on eventually, man. This was dope.
Yeah, cause I do music stuff too, Brandon. If you ever get a chance, you got iTunes something. It's a link in my bio on Instagram. You click that link, man. It'll take you to a little project me and my brother and a couple partners did a couple years ago. Take a listen to it. You get a chance, get around to it. Let me know what you think, bro.
Okay, that's what's up. You got like any specifications, like websites, anything you want to plug before I cut it off?
Nah, just the link in my Instagram bio. That'll take you straight to it on iTunes for anybody who got
Vinny_Love LUV.
Yes, sir.
On Instagram. You ain't on Twitter or nothing?
Yeah, same thing. Oh, now it's Love Vinny. It's Love Vinny, just backwards with the underscore.
Okay, that's what's up.
Already.
Next, we got friend of the show, Rec League regular, Nicholas Artemis Quintavious Goodman. We're gonna just start off with the same thing I'm gonna ask everybody. Just, how many movies in your collection? You can break them down by format, grand total, however you want to do it.
I've never taken like an actual like count. I will one day, but it's thousands.
Thousands.
It's easily thousands. Like there's some days where I'm like, I don't have that many, and then I just look at one. Like right now, a lot of my DVDs are in storage and stuff. I just look at one box and I'm like, okay, there's hundreds in that one box. So yeah, there's thousands, and like there's even some that I have like there's a lot that I have multiple copies of, but there's even some that I'm planning on selling. So there's
Well, when you start selling them, like, keep me in mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me see. Yeah, so my first fun question: how are your movies arranged?
Right now they're not, but in theory, when I do arrange them, a long time ago, well, not a long time, like shortly after high school into like maybe 4 years ago, I arranged them by movie studio, which no one did, but I just thought I thought every Warner Brothers movie together looked cooler.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. And then I had Fox movies together, and then the more that people started putting sequels out through different companies, and I could put them together, just the more that happened, kind of started bothering me. So then now it's pretty basic alphabetical order. It's kind of similar to yours though. Like I got animated movies separate. I've got all my Disney movies separate. Like live action, animated, all of it are like on their own little shelf. And then I've got like Marvel and DC movies separated out. But for the most part, everything's in alphabetical order. It's less stressful.
Yeah, I got I have my universes together. Like I have all my Bond movies, 007s, like at the very front.
Mm-hmm.
And then like DC, whatever the universe is, starting with Man of Steel until let's say Shazam, even though it's not technically out yet. Yeah. Those are together. The MCU's together. Then yeah, like I have my animation by studio and then chronologically.
Yeah, that's pretty much like I have every Marvel movie. Like I've got the MCU together.
Yeah.
And then after that, I've got the rest of them. Like it didn't seem right to have the X-Men just like mixed in with, and then like Spider-Man, it's on the same shelf. They're like together. It's not just like mixed up. But that's how I have it. And then it's like the DC universe is together, but then I've got the Dark Knights like with it on the same shelf. It's like my DC shelf. It's not like I'm not getting confused when I look at my title.
Yeah.
Like, oh, add a part of that? No. Like I know what I'm doing, but it just feels weird. Like maybe one day I'll just not feel weird about it. Like I'll just be like, it's time to mix these together. Then I'll probably realize I take it too seriously and get help.
Alright. Next. Is there anything that you've bought, like a blind buy, that you regretted grabbing after you watched it?
I'm sure there is. It's typically that. It's typically blind buys where I'm like, this will be... It's mostly horror movies. Like, the first one that came to mind just now, and like, it wasn't even that bad, but like, remember that movie The Boy?
Vaguely.
When we were like doing the summer movie.
With Maggie from The Walking Dead was in the first one, right? Yeah, yeah. And then, fun fact, that sequel got pushed back.
Shoot.
Not even a summer release anymore.
Damn it. I'm mad because now I own the first one.
We got pushed back to December. You know those cheapo, low-budget horror movies that come out the first weekend in December? Mm-hmm. That's when it's coming.
Ugh. I didn't like hate that movie, but that's like, it's movies like that where I'm like, I have some kind of weird reason to blind buy it. Maggie, like I'm like, oh, Maggie's in it. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
How bad could it be? And then it's like, pretty bad. I started to utilize Redbox more when I'm like questioning a blind buy. If Redbox gets it, I'll go rent it and like watch it as fast as I can, then go shop. Like I did that with that movie Mordecai with Johnny Depp.
Ooh.
Because I missed that in the theater, and I was like, this seems like it could be funny, but I heard bad things, so I went and rented it, and I was like, wow, I'm so glad I didn't buy that. But there's a couple movies, mostly horror movies.
That was like Holmes and Watson level bad, and that's one that I definitely did not buy.
Yeah, that was one that I rented, and I was like, that might have even been the thing where I was like, I'm going to start doing this more often instead of blowing my money. At least blowing full price money. I'm not going to spend $20 on Mordecai.
All right, last question that I cooked up specifically for you.
Oh.
When every Tuesday, every new purchase, you have a specific hysterical hashtag. Will trade codes for nudes. How many nudes have you received, and how many trades have actually went down?
It's been a while. It used to be a thing. That's why I started putting the code. And that's why I keep it now, because it's like an inside joke with myself. But also when you click on the hashtag, it's just my pictures.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool.
I have a couple of those tags.
Yeah. Like I want to actually start a page at some point with my collection that just looks like that.
Yes. Do a collection page just like mine.
Yeah. I will call it
at Will Trade Codes for Nudes.
Yeah, but it used to happen often. Like that was the thing. Like people always used to DM about trading codes. Like, it used to happen way more often than it does now.
Super obnoxious.
But, all the time. Like, I was always waking up and just had all these codes. And then, like, I got this random girl that just was like, so I don't own a lot of movies, but I've got other things. And I was like,
then the American Pie porno music kicks in.
Yeah, like it was like that kind of reaction.
Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, I was like, okay, be cool, act like you do this all the time, and I don't know, we like interacted for maybe a few weeks, and then it just kind of got weird. Like I was like, this is stressful, and then it just kind of, I like told my friends about it. They thought it was funny, so then like I put the hashtag in. They thought that was funny, and like the more I kept the hashtag, the more I still get random, and it's like from guys like all the time. It's more often guys now than girls will just be like, LOL. So like, does it have to be my nudes? And I'm just like, I don't answer. I'm just like, I'm just keeping it in there for the, you know.
The response to this question is everything I hoped it'd be.
But yeah, no, I get guys all the time. I've gotten unsolicited pictures from guys and girls. Like, instead of just getting a message about, like, do you have Django? They'll just send a picture. Like, it's just like, oh, penis. Like, it's just like, there it is. Like, good morning. Wake up.
To an eyeful.
Yeah. And, like, Instagram even does the thing. It's like, they want to send you this.
Yeah.
You want to accept? And I'm like,
no.
Hell yeah. I'm just like, absolutely. What is this now?
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's the only reason I keep it. But it's still kind of funny. And then also, like, I'm the only one. So if you click it, it's just my pictures. So, like, and like I used to tell people when they make offers or whatever, I was like, just click that hashtag and you can see what I got. And I'd be like, no, I don't want that. I want something. I want Marley and Me. And I'm like, you want a 10-year-old movie?
Right.
I guess if the code still works. But yeah, it's fun.
That's the most amazing story in the 1 year I've been doing this podcast.
It's a unique situation that I find only myself in. But I have no one to blame but myself. I did it.
It's all your fault.
Man.
Before we, what's up?
I was going to say, like, I don't think I've saved any of the pictures that I received. But it was like, they all have just a lifetime supply. They just have so many movies. So it's like, I hope they still watch them. That's all I can, like, I hope they're all doing well.
Right. Before we wrap it up, do you have anything that you wanted to ask me?
No.
No.
Okay. Only because I just thought about it when I jokingly said,
collection.
And it's just because I follow your page, and I'll even like look at your page randomly, like when I'm thinking like, did he buy this? Like out of nowhere, like I'll just be like, how come you never bought? Because you're like one of the only other people I know. Like we buy the animated DC movies.
Yeah. Like,
and I've been doing it for like almost since they came out. Like I started just buying them one by one and like stuck with it. How come you never bought the Constantine?
I don't know. I have Justice League Dark.
That was like one of the only things I could think of, and I was like, that's a random question to ask. And then I just looked up and saw like I've got a couple of those on the shelf, and I was like, oh. But I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? Do you even care about your page? I mean,
I don't know. Is it maybe was it tied into the show?
No, I mean like it's the same dude from the show. I think plays his voice. But
yeah,
like,
Matt Ryan has become like the Constantine, like F. Keanu Reeves and all that. Because Matt Ryan's been on like Legends and Arrow, and
I think
he was in Justice League Dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's like Justice League Dark, and then this, like it's like part of that. Because I rewatched them a couple months ago. I watched all of those so I could watch the reign of the Superman. This is like a weirdly specific question.
It is.
You were like,
I was not prepared for why didn't I buy something.
what the hell's wrong with you? Do you even care about your collection? Why do you have a fake? You didn't buy the Constantine.
I don't know.
You should,
No comment.
yeah,
It's like a year old now. I'm going to have to like hunt for it with a slipcover and...
maybe. You should have thought about that, man. Wow. Do you ever, like, you've answered this, but, like, you ever see yourself, like, doing 4K?
When, like, this is the answer I tell everybody. When Thor Ragnarok and Coco were coming out, I was this closer than this to going.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, dude, like I'm so like obsessive compulsive. I'm gonna try to like re-upgrade everything, bankrupt myself, go straight broke, sucking dick for 4K money. My wife will leave me. I'll be homeless. It'll turn into something that I can't afford. And then like there are movies that aren't even on Blu-ray, so I can't tell you how much isn't on 4K. And then just like the difference in format would annoy me. So for now, I've decided against it.
I feel you. I like, as soon as I got my like 4K TV, I felt like the itch, and I was like, all right.
I feel the itch every so often.
Yeah.
I want those Batmans just to have them. But like I'm also not a multiple copies of the same movie person.
I know.
And
nice.
Like I have the Xbox. When I got the Xbox that can play 4Ks, and that's when I started getting the itch. And I've just withheld myself for so long.
It's for the best. Because like I've got too much stuff. Like any normal person would come in and be like, "Why do you have that many copies?" Like even like the other day, I posted American Pie, and I had 3 copies. I don't think I realized I had 3 copies until I was like, no, wait, I got a VHS copy too.
Yeah.
Like any normal person would be like, why do you have that?
I kind of think it's cool, but I'm one of those, like, as soon as, like, something, like, I think, like, Blu-ray.com had, like, a list of, like, Universal Studios upgrades coming out in, like, 6 weeks. And there was a comment that said, like, Undercover Brother is in that batch. So as soon as Undercover Brother comes out, I'll get the Blu-ray and my DVD will go to Parts Unknown. But then you'll post anniversary stuff, and I'm like, man, it's dope. He still got all these formats.
Like it's hard for me to part. I've given away a lot of stuff. I've sold some stuff, and I've got some stuff that I want to sell. Like I started buying Blu-rays in like 2009, so I had some stuff on DVD already that, as years passed, I was like, I really want to upgrade these.
Yeah.
So, like, the newer ones, like, from 2008, like, maybe early 2009, I got rid of. Like, I was like, if I upgraded those, I don't need those on DVD. But if they're, like, before that, and, like, I had, like, an attachment to the DVD, and, like, that was all that was available, I either don't upgrade it, or, like, I'll upgrade it for something, like, a cooler edition, like, an anniversary edition or something like that, and then I'll look at my DVD and be like, you know what, you're going back on the shelf. You're staying here. I haven't gotten rid of any VHS tapes, though. Like, I have so many VHS tapes.
Dude, like, I had a list when I was young, when I was a teenager. Like, I had, like, a notebook page of, like, my VHS collection that morphed into my DVDs. I obviously have no idea where that list is, and I try to remember, like, I had this, and this, and I'll try to find it if it's out and I don't already have it.
Once I started making my own money, because, like, when I was, like, in high school, it was, like, when I started getting obsessed with, like, movie release dates and, like, following, like, the different editions that were coming out. I was like, oh, this one's getting a 2-disc DVD? Like, that's crazy. Like, I remember, like, Collateral coming out on 2-disc DVD.
Yeah.
And I was like, Collateral? Like, it was stupid shit. And then, like, once I started making my own money, like, that was, like, one of the first things I did was go back, and I was like, I never bought that 2-disc edition of that, or, like, go back, and I was like, I remember that, Target exclusive Ghost Rider. Oh, man, it was, like, a Target exclusive, like, 3-disc one. Never found it.
Gotta have it
at a store, but we all get disappointed sometimes that I can't have Ghost Rider.
It happens.
So it's like you put love into doing stuff like that, so it's hard for me to like get rid of them. My sister is completely the opposite way. She like had a bunch of movies, and then she moved and was like going to like take them to Goodwill or like try to. And I was like, just let me have them. Like I was like, So now I have Win a Date with Tad Hamilton.
I might have beef with your sister now.
If you remember that movie.
Yeah, I was working at the theater before I joined the military. That was at the theater before I left.
Yeah, solid B-, but it's on my shelf now. So take that, Goodwill.
I think that's gonna wrap it up. You're like, when the editing is all done, you're like right in the middle. So watch everybody.
Yeah.
I think when we reconvene back as a group video, I think for now it's gonna be Comic-Con recap. Maybe some Tarantino discussion. But appreciate the contribution, man.
Yeah, always.
Okay, man, we got a regular to the show. He's been gone for a little bit, but he's back for this episode, man. Awesome Joe. I mean, Mr. Carrillo. I mean, would you like to work for me here at Awesome Joe's Awesome Movie Reviews? And he owns movies, so we're gonna ask some of the same questions that are being asked to the other participants. And the first one, I'm asking everybody this one, man. Just how many movies do you own? You can break it down by format. You can break it grand total. However you want to break down your numbers, man.
Well, I did have a whole bunch of movie editions that took the majority of my time. So, but I went ahead and I calculated it all together to give myself the estimated amount as to how many that I came up with. So, and the last time I counted my movies was a long time ago, back in 2017, when I was doing one of those contests, and I came up to 425 movies, I think, back then. And then compared to now, I've come a long way because I calculated up to 1,342 movies. So that's a lot. I mean, I don't know if it's anywhere close to what you have, but
that's actually for people, like common people, including my wife, like the common folk who just assume like I have every single movie ever created. I only have like 500 more than you.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. My count's at like 1,800
right
something.
That range there, and it's just interesting because you just look at them all and you're just like, wow, I can't believe I have that many. I mean, I don't know if you remember. I know that we probably might be talking about this later on, but just having to throw the thought out there of remembering that very first movie that you ever bought, and then leading that all the way to where you are now, just seeing this grand collection of all these movies. It's just phenomenal. I mean, most people won't find it as fascinating, but I mean, I just think it's highly amazing just getting to see them on those shelves and having to know that that's your collection, that's your library, that's your hobby, your hobby. You just love it so much. I actually call them my personal family because I mean they're there for you when you're in your brightest and darkest times. So I mean they got so many different emotions, different experiences for you to put yourself into that world. So it's a fascinating experience just spending time with those movies.
Yeah. Let me see. What bad movies do you have? And like what led you to purchase it? Like was it like part of a series and you needed the complete series, or was it something you were like blind by, was curious about, you ended up disliking it?
The bad movies?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is a really good question because it took me a while to try and figure out as to what would be a great answer getting to answering that sort of question. So, to be honest with you, there's so many movies out there that bring a lot of anticipation to me, because when you watch theatrical trailers, TV spots, toys, anything that markets the film, it really does build that anticipation in you and getting to wanting to go and watch this film. But then at the end of the day, when you go to the theater and you watch it, you get disappointed. You have so many, high aspects for it, and then at the end you just don't like it, but yet you love the marketing to the film enough to wanting to just having that movie part of your collection.
Yeah.
So like, say for example, Justice League. Okay, not a great movie. Okay, but it's a fun movie to watch, but not the best. But it's only because I love the marketing to it. I mean,
Yeah.
the marketing for it was fantastic. It really brought me into getting so pumped and excited to go into the theater and watching this. And so when I did, I had fun, but I was highly disappointed by it. But yet I had to have it because it's part of the collection of DC Universe movies. So I had to have it. And so that's what I mean by having, just having this huge collections. Like, say, for example, also Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. My least favorite of all the films. I love all the other ones except for that one. That one just completely. I remember the first time I ever watched that movie so much, it pissed me off so badly. But yet I had to say it's part of it. As much as I don't like it, I have to have it. Or like one of the Harry Potter movies, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. That's my least favorite, but I had to have it. So because it's part of that 8 set of Harry Potter films. So,
I think those are my least favorite in both of those series too.
Yeah, it's just the fact that you don't want it, but you have to have it, because if you don't have it, then it kind of takes away the whole meaning of that whole collection. Yeah. So you have to have every little piece to make the whole thing interesting. So
completionist.
If you ever want to have a marathon of all the movies you want to watch, it kind of takes away if you have one missing piece of the puzzle and you skip that chapter and continue on. It kind of takes away the whole thing. So that's pretty much my answer regarding to that question.
All right. What in your collection have you watched the most?
The most that I've watched?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Okay, I'm a big Tom Cruise fan. I love Tom Cruise. Don't care about his personal life. None of my business. I just love his acting. He's a brilliant actor. I love his stunt performances, in all the movies that he's in. My most favorite is Vanilla Sky. Love Vanilla Sky. I love Oblivion, Jerry Maguire, Last Samurai, and Batman is my favorite superhero of all time. I love watching the Dark Knight Rises, Batman vs Superman, the Christopher Nolan trilogy. All of it. I love all that. And quite recently, ever since I first saw the first Stephen King's It movie back in 2017, it got me back into the horror genre. So I started watching a lot of horror movies. I love Michael Myers films, so Halloween movies. I love Chucky movies, So, and of course, I watch a lot of the Stephen King's It from back in the 1990 version and this recent version. So really excited about the sequel. So those are the majority of the films that I really do admire watching. Those are my most personal favorite that I love to watch a lot.
All right. Last question. Is there anything that you bought? Maybe you haven't seen it, and then you watched it, and it was just like, man, why did I buy that? Like your biggest regret that you bought.
Actually, as a matter of fact, whenever I go out to a store and I see anything in particular that I like, I feel like it's like Christmas morning. I buy the movie, and as soon as I come home, that's the first thing I do. I pop that movie into the player and turn that TV on. Probably get some popcorn going, something. And probably even order a pizza, anything. I have a fantastic time whenever I buy a movie and I get so excited. I have to say, you know what? I gotta watch it. And I gotta watch it right now because it's just that anticipation that's built up in me. Just saying, "Ooh, I bought myself a new toy. I'm gonna play with my new toy." So that's I have a lot of fun when it comes to buying these movies. I enjoy getting to buying them on either Amazon or when I go out to the pawn shop. Pawn shops, you got great deals. A lot of people get rid of their really great, very good collection of movies. So I always go there from time to time and see what they have. It's phenomenal. I mean, they got great deals there. But especially on Amazon. On Amazon, I go berserks. I buy like maybe 10, 15 of them at a time. And and I always look at my mailbox every day, even though when it says on the app saying that, oh, it's on its way, or it's delivered at your address. Like, oh, yay, it's like Christmas morning, I open up that mailbox and boom, there it is. Like, yay, gotta unwrap it and just like, oh my God, I got it. So, yeah, it's fun. I always have a lot of fun when I buy my movies. Great time.
No regrets, though?
Oh no, not at all. I mean, let me see here. Any regrets? What number is that one?
10.
Number 10 minus. Oh, you know what? There is a regret.
Okay.
When I go and buy a movie, and I decide to watch that movie. I open it up, I watch it, but then, like I said before, usually these movies are part of a collection.
Yeah.
And and just like us, we tend to run out of space. So I always like to buy the collection, the collection, just to save up some space. Because you have this majority of movies collections, and then when you buy the box set, it's probably about this much, that takes up space. So you got a whole space open. So when I buy a movie that's just a single film itself, and I watch it, and then, days later I go to the store, I watch the movies, to see what they have for sale. Then boom, there's the collection right there with the movie that I just bought. And I'm like, no. I was like, I can't return the movie anymore because I already opened it. So
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have the single film and the collector's edition. So it's just like sometimes I feel a little regret towards that. So I think that's pretty much the answer to that question, from what I believe.
Okay, cool. You got before we close out, you got anything that you want to ask me about my collection or anything?
Are you kidding? I have a lot of good questions for you. So
bring it on, man.
Here we go. And the majority of these questions are just out of curious thoughts. Like, say, for example, I'm very curious, with the majority of the films that you have, what is the one movie that you remember, the very first film that you ever bought, that from what you remember?
It was actually 10 years ago for my birthday. My wife got me a Blu-ray player. I was living back home in Indy, and she sent me the Blu-ray player, and she sent me American Gangster, Batman Begins, which she wanted to be The Dark Knight, but her friend went in, made the purchase, and got Batman Begins by mistake, and forgetting Sarah Marshall. So those were my first 3 Blu-rays. My first 3 DVDs were, if I remember correctly, because that was back in like 2001, those were, I want to say, Jurassic Park 3 and the first 2 Rush Hours.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it was pretty much around that time too when movies were becoming much more popular back then. That VHS was going out and DVDs and Blu-rays were coming in. So yeah, I distinctly remember those moments there too, because for me, my first DVDs was The Matrix.
Yeah.
Back in 2003 when The Matrix Reloaded and
Revolutions
was coming out. So I got a little excited about getting the first Matrix film, so I got that, including the Scorpion King, the first Scorpion King movie. That's when I first got my first DVD player. And then I did have a good collection of Blu-rays before, a good while back, probably about around 2010. My wife, she actually, this is similar to your story too. She bought me a Blu-ray player, and she bought me The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So that was my first Blu-ray. So I don't have my Blu-rays anymore, but I remember distinctly that The Dark Knight was my first Blu-ray, and my first DVDs were The Matrix and The Scorpion King. So that was a good while back, but it's a great memorable moment, just having to know, just to share those things. My second question is, you can say horror, but besides horror, what movie terrifies you that to not watch? Like if you like you have it, you enjoy it, you love it, but you're just too terrified to watch it. It kind of affects you, and not in a personal level, but more on a
As a 33-year-old grown man, I'm not really scared to watch anything. I don't really like get disturbed or anything. Like if I have it, like eventually I want to watch it at one point. But like the It miniseries when I was a kid, like terrified me. Like it came out when I was 4 years old. I watched it with my teenage cousin, and she'll vouch for this whole story. And like it got to the point that like when I was a little kid coming up, like I would avoid them wherever, like if somebody owned the tape and like it was in the case, like I would avoid that case. Like I would back up against the wall and like shimmy against the wall and try to avoid it because Pennywise is crazy. But today, man, not really anything. I just like possession and and ghost haunted stuff like that. Like I just don't watch it just because it's just not my flavor. Like I just don't like that genre of horror. But like I would have to watch it for it to freak me out.
Yeah, like for me, for example, I think that the one that really it's disturbing. It's disturbing for me to watch because I love slasher flicks. I think they're really cool, but it goes beyond the level. When you watch what's that one called where they go to the European country, then they get kidnapped and they get slaughtered for people
Hostel?
who pay. What's it called?
Hostel?
Yes, the first Hostel movie. It blows my mind just seeing how incredibly gruesome it is.
Yeah.
And it's so disturbing for me. I mean, if I'm ever driving on the road and I see roadkill, I tend to gag. So this is I almost I get sick when I see that stuff. So it's a little too much for me. So those are the movies. I love to have them, but it's a little too disturbing for me to watch. So. But it's great. It's great. It's a great addition to the collection. So, but my last and final question that I would love to ask you is, okay, this is something that I asked myself because you have your whole collection of movies, but and it's way down the line here. But if there were to ever come a time, when when you pass away, when you die, what happens to your movies? Do you pass them along to the next best person that you trust that will take very good care of them, or will you allow yourself to be buried with them or cremated with them?
Oh no, it's not that deep. I mean, yeah, like I leave everything to my spouse, and then she can figure it out. She can keep what she wants and sell the rest. I mean, if I'm gone, like on the real, like I don't care, like as much as we collect and as much as we obsess over this and our fans can't take none of it with you. It's all just stuff to fill the time.
Yeah. Because the reason why I asked that question is because I remember I asked that to myself way long time ago when I first started collecting DVDs, and I always told myself, man, I love my movies so much, and I don't trust anybody because I didn't have anybody back then. I don't trust anybody with my movies, so I love them so much. And it's like at the time, I wanted to be buried with them. I'm like thinking, you guys better. I'm gonna put it in my will. I'm not gonna give these movies to anybody. You're gonna throw it in my coffin. I'm gonna be buried with them. So, and that's something I always thought about. Nowadays, I would probably say, the same thing that you would say. Give them on to somebody who would either cherish them or sell them or do whatever they want with them, because you're right. Once when we pass on, we can't take them along with us, even regardless of how much work and how much time and effort and money we put into them. We can't take them with us. So, but it's always a curious thought and something to bring up within a conversation. So, which is one of the questions as to why I wanted to ask you. So, those are my questions that I pretty much came up with that I wanted to ask you out of curiosity.
Man, I appreciate you participating, man. Like, I'm thinking September, November, I want to do it again. Bring back some same faces. Try to get some new faces in. Cook up some new questions, man. But it's real fun, man. Like for real. Like, I appreciate you jumping in on this. And when I come back, before I mention, I got one more dude after this, and then we'll be on sports. Finish the rest of the episode, man. Rec League Podcast. Stay tuned. Okay, cool. Last and most definitely not least, man, I got my guy, Rec League regular, E-Sig, one of my favorite social media movie collectors. We're going to start off. I'm going to ask you the same thing. Like, the one question that I know I'm going to ask everybody is just how many movies you got, man? However you want to break it down by format or just grand total. Go ahead.
What's going on? And grand total, I'm going with Blu-ray and DVD. Probably about 10 years ago now, I donated all of my VHS tapes. And can't say I regret it, but think about it from time to time. Should I have kept it? But anyway. So, grand total, DVD, Blu-ray, TV shows, movies, wrestling, whatever. I got 2,143. which is not a lot if
Yeah.
you've seen some collections I've seen.
Yeah.
But to the average person, that's they'll think that's ridiculous.
Yeah. My wife all the time. You got so many movies, you barely watch them. Like I'm to the point I'm trying to watch like one movie a day, but I tell her like, hey, get on social media. You see some of these people, I don't have anything.
Yeah, they got cases go ceiling to the floor from one side of the wall to the other on all sides of the room.
Yep.
And it's full. But yeah, I think my collection is respectable.
Yeah. Let me see. It's like I told you guys, I wasn't gonna ask every question. I'm gonna just like pick and choose a few. So, what got you into collecting?
Well, just being a fan of movies, I guess it go hand in hand. You gotta buy movies if you like them. So, and yeah, that's basically it. You love them, want to watch them, you gotta see them when you want to see them. So, definitely gotta get them.
Okay. How often do you blind buy? Like, what'll lead to a blind buy?
Price. Usually, well, number one is the price, but I used to live by a Target, and they had I think it was $3, $5, $7 deals.
Yeah.
And I'd probably go in there every time I got paid and spend $20-$30.
Yeah, them deals will get you.
Yeah. And of course, if I know you review movies, if I hear a review by somebody I trust, I go buy it. But it's a lot of movies that I still have in the collection that I never watched.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just buy. Another thing that leads to a blind buy is if it's a special edition case. Like, for example, I never seen Ender's Game, but it still book was $8. So
I haven't seen that one either. Just out of respect for Harrison Ford, I should eventually check that out.
Right.
Yeah. Man, for me, man, like award season comes around and a lot of those don't come here, but I want to see them. Like I'll get really like hooked into the trailer. Like, there was it The Hateful Eight? Like I had to travel like 2.5, 3 hours out of my way to see The Hateful Eight.
Oh,
but
wow.
I knew I was going to buy it just because it was Tarantino. And then there are other ones like I want to say The Shape of Water, but I know that one came here like right before the Oscars that year. Yeah, I'll blind buy every once in a while. Just simply.
And you mean come there as in to your theater?
Yeah,
your local theater.
Yeah. Small town, one theater, and they're gonna get what makes money instead of what looks good.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me see. You remember the first movie that you put in your collection? You ain't got to go all the way back to VHS, but when you started getting Blu-rays.
The Blu-rays or DVD?
I mean, you pick.
Both.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with DVD. I remember the very first movie I bought for DVD because I was broke, but I really wanted it. And it was also one of the very first movies to utilize every single feature, audio commentary. It had the angle button. That's how far I go back with it.
I've never figured out how to work that.
The DVD, every movie never used a feature.
The angle, yeah.
But so this movie I bought it in 1998, and it was Ghostbusters.
All right.
So it was basically a port.
Classic pickup.
Yeah. It was basically a port from the Laserdisc onto DVD, and they ported every single feature. It was full of features. And it's about to get technical and nerdy, and I remember that because it was one of the first dual-layer DVD discs. So every DVD player didn't play dual-layer disc. Yeah. So I had a cheap player, and I couldn't watch it. So I don't know what the problem was. I took, like I said, I was broke, stupid, and
we all been there.
I went to Rent-A-Center, and I got took it back. I'm like, the player doesn't work, and then my uncle hit me to the technical spec of what was happening. So, and the first Blu-ray I bought is tricky. No, you know what? It's not. The first Blu-ray I bought was Air Force One.
Another classic pickup.
Yeah.
Can't never go wrong with that 90s action.
Right.
But then on that same note, what's the most recent addition to your collection?
The most recent addition? Man, what was that? I should know. It was. Why didn't I write that down? No, I think I bought. Was it? Oh man, Deer in the Headlights. Was it? No, it was funny. It was Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Hey, came around full circle.
Right, that's funny. Yeah, it was that. The Steelbook. The 35th anniversary, right?
Yeah, it was 1 and 2 in the same case, right?
Mm-hmm.
That 2020 about to come out. Last question. Is there anything that you're looking for that you can't find? Like, I'm telling, like, when the year started, like, I had, like, goals for my collection. Like, I wanted all the OG Bond movies. I wanted the Bill and Ted Shout Factory pack. And then I wanted something else that escapes me right now. But it's like every goal, I wanted a slipcover for my Whiplash. And I already got all of those. Is there, like, a white whale out there that you're chasing for your collection?
Oh, yeah. And I probably, sadly, won't ever get it. It's the, it came out right before I start collecting steelbooks, so I wasn't looking for it. But Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, the Future Shop steelbook. And Future Shop, if you all don't know, it was like closed 5 years ago, the Canadian subsidiary of Best Buy. And they used to have exclusives, and they got a hell of an Iron Man steelbook.
So it's probably on eBay for like $5,000 or something, huh?
For real, it's on eBay for $2,000.
Damn.
And dude had the nerves to leave a $30 price stick on it. Like, really? It's 2 G's.
Man, that's highway robbery, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, stupid fun. When I get the episode uploaded, man, go back and watch everybody's, because I'm going to mix up the questions. And then I want to do this again. Maybe September, maybe November.
Right.
And, you know, shoot to get some new faces in there, come up with some different questions, ask the same faces in there. When we come back, though, hopefully I'm with a homie. I might be all by myself, but we're going to talk about the madness that has been NBA free agency, man. Rec League Podcast. Hey, time for sports. Rec League originator in this. My man Legacy. First time.
What up?
I ain't even exaggerating. It's first time he been on the pod since. I'm gonna give you November, and that's being generous.
Don't throw shots.
Bang, bang, bang. But we gonna talk, like, NBA free agency technically started June 30th. It's been like 8 days since players can officially sign. And I want you to start off and give us your reaction to big name players, your specific teams you want to focus on, just reactions to how free agency has been so far.
Man, free agency this year I don't remember NBA free agency ever being this crazy.
Ever.
Like, I'm trying to think back to, like, a time where, like, it was this much action that caused this much drama and this much change in one free agency. I don't think there ever was one. I can't think of one.
I don't think so ever. I don't think so either.
I mean, with players being able to pick where they want to go and create their own trade narratives and stuff like that, that's kind of a new thing. So, you know, that's even a new thing to be talking about. But
yeah,
because before, players didn't really move around. So, you know, but I mean, the Lakers, the AD and LeBron is crazy.
I love it.
Crazy. I don't know. I want to see how that works, because I feel like LeBron's gonna be a full-time point guard, and they're gonna have AD running the post. So I mean, I still think they need to, like, you know, make their supporting cast better. But
yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
They got Danny Green. I hope Boogie Cousins is 100%. He can play the 5. They brought back Rondo, which a lot of guys are down on, but, like, low key, I love Rondo.
The fact about Rondo is a floor general, man. And
yeah,
they're gonna need that.
Yep.
They kept Kuzma too. Like, we
Kyle
can't.
Kuz,
you know what I mean?
yep.
So, like, the only thing, like, look at the Lakers. Like I play basketball, so I kind of look at it like a totally different way.
like they look like they're quiet shooters. Like, you know, they got Green or whatever. They're quiet shooters, but I feel like that works better when they're running the offense through LeBron, and it feels like the Lakers want to make LeBron the point guard and run through AD. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's high on Brooklyn right now. Like, Brooklyn is a hot topic right now.
One, they in the Pacers conference, so I'll be trying not to be high on Brooklyn. And two, I'm not even getting excited about Brooklyn until next season when KD is 100%, or the playoffs at the earliest, because Kyrie is going to have to limp this team into the playoffs and then see what they can do if Durant come back for the playoffs.
I feel the same way as you. Like, I feel like everybody, when KD went to Brooklyn and they got Kyrie, I feel like everybody jumped off they was like, oh, snap, Brooklyn. They, you know, and it's like, dog, they still a year away. Like,
yeah.
They still got to, you know, KD cannot play. So, you know what I mean? So it's like.
And they got some solid pickups, but is that enough to get them a home court playoff seed? I don't think so. Yeah. Not this year.
And let's be honest. Like, it's going to be interesting to see KD and Kyrie lead a team to a championship too, because Kyrie, as great as he is, have always had that other guy.
Yeah.
That kind of led the way, was the guy. You know what I mean?
You saw last year when he was the number one option.
Yeah. And all the times before that, you know what I mean? Before LeBron came, you know, it was like, Kyrie is nice, but can he lead? You know what I mean? And then we got KD, who is also kind of a similar kind of guy. Like, he can be the best player on the team, but
was Russ Batman?
Huh?
Was Russell Westbrook Batman?
I felt like he was the personality. Like, he was the leader.
Yeah.
The Thunder was more his personality than KD's, right? And even
I agree.
when he went to go to state, he could go there and be the best player because Steph was considered the guy. You know what I mean? So I feel like KD and Kyrie are like similar when it comes to that. So seeing two Robins, they're not two Robins, they're both great, but seeing two passive personalities together, somebody's gonna have to be the guy.
I think, like, I don't know if it was ESPN or if I just like saw it in passing, like on Twitter or something, but like KD can take the media. You know who I am? I'm Kevin Durant. Like, he can handle the media because like you could instantly see how annoyed Kyrie Irving would get, especially after a Celtics loss, when he would get media questions.
Yeah.
So not this year, but like next year when Kevin Durant come back 100%, he can deal with the media, he could be out there hooping, and Kyrie can, you know, kind of make it happen, playing calls and whatnot. Like, the Nets are going to be interesting next year. And speaking of Curry, even with Klay Thompson out, like, I can't wait to see Curry mode next season.
Look, I feel like we about to get Curry from a few years ago when he was MVP mode.
Yep.
And I feel like people are sleeping on the D'Angelo Russell, like the D'Lo.
I'm not.
Like,
D'Lo, nice.
But I think it's going to be scary with just him and Steph. I think that's going to be scary. But I think people are not really looking at how scary that three-headed monster is going to be when it's Steph, D'Lo, and Klay. When Klay comes back, because he's going to probably be back right in time for the playoffs.
Yeah. I think
that three-headed monster shooting on the outside, spreading the floor is going to be nasty.
I'm not a medical professional in nothing, but I assume Klay and KD both come back around the same time. Like, they can play, but they won't be as effective. Just like Victor Oladipo. Like, when Oladipo come back, he's going to be rusty. Like, the Pacers just aren't going to instantly be one of the top dogs in the East. He's gonna get his feet wet.
The reason why I think Klay could do it, though, is because Klay is not a player that has to do a lot of dribbling. He's not a player that has to do a lot of running around.
Yeah.
He's catch and shoot. He can score 40 catching and shoot. You know what I mean? Like, as far as being just like mobile, running back and forth, I can see that slowing down a little bit. But the floor is gonna be so spread because you gotta account for D'Lo, you gotta account for Steph. Because of that, Klay is gonna be open sometime, and he's gonna make those shots. So I feel like it's gonna affect Kevin Durant more than it's gonna affect Klay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think Golden State still can be scary because what they did was quietly went and got a bunch of big men, which, you know, they were lacking.
Yeah.
They got some talented big men that fit into their system, and that three-headed monster, and they still got Draymond. They're gonna be all right, man.
Yeah,
They're still gonna be all right.
a lot of people are predicting them to be like a low road seed, like 6, 7, 8.
I think that's what they want.
I think without Clay, yeah, like they're gonna suffer a little, but I would put them anywhere between like 4 and 6.
I got them between 4 and 6 too. But once Clay come back, they're gonna be dangerous.
Exactly.
In the playoffs. They're gonna be dangerous in the playoffs.
They could be that road team like Cleveland 2 years ago, or were they 4? Yeah, they were 4, but still, they could be that low seed that makes a run.
If Steph looked like he did a few years ago when he was unanimous MVP, we'll see how that go, man. They're gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
But what we ain't talked about yet though is the Rockets. The Rockets with Harden and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, like that trade just happened a few days ago. But like the rumor, I think like Houston was rumored, but like the majority of the discussion was Westbrook to Miami. I just didn't want Russ in the East because I didn't want the Pacers to have to play Russ 4 times, 3 times a season, including playoffs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I feel you.
I think Houston's gonna be fun. Like Russ is my favorite point guard in the league.
I think Houston's gonna be controversial.
They will.
Harden needs the ball. Russell Westbrook needs the ball. They both, like to dribble a lot. They're both playmakers with the ball in their hand. They both can pass. They both can shoot. They both can get to the rack, but they both need the ball in hand. So I don't know. I guess that's going to rely a lot on D'Antoni coaching, man. They're gonna have to. He's going to really have to earn his money coaching this year. You know what I mean? Like,
I think they personal relationship and how long they've known each other and like knowing each other game, playing in the off season together. I think that's going to benefit them a lot.
I think the personal relationship is going to help, but then it's certain stuff in basketball that matters though, and one of them is who's having, like, when you're Russell Westbrook, you're used to having the ball your whole career.
Yeah.
Right? When you're James Harden, you're used to having the ball your whole career. Right? So D'Antoni's going to have to be able to, like, give Russ minutes without Harden, where he just has the ball, and vice versa. I mean, he's going to have to do that well. And then they're going to have to figure out how to play together. But then, when you get in crunch time and you need buckets, who you get a ball to. That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So,
if I'm Russ,
you would think Harden.
Yeah, if I'm Russ, I'm giving it to Harden because, I mean, he's just the elder statesman in that team.
If you're anybody, you're giving the ball to Harden.
Or
but we know for a fact that Russell Westbrook don't play like that.
Or because all the eyes are going to be on Russ and Harden, I'm throwing that shit into Capella.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's going to go really good or really bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's going to really work or it's not. You know what I mean? Like, Chris Paul don't demand the ball as much as Russell Westbrook did, and it was a problem with him and Harden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm interested to see that.
And even
you know what I mean?
Chris Paul, he about to be on the move too. Like, I don't think he starts the season with OKC. They already said they're looking for a trade.
I think he does, and the reason why is because Houston was supposed to pay him so much money.
Yeah, he got a fat contract.
Like, I think it was like $130,000 or whatever. So, like,
million.
$130 million or something like that. So if it was like $130 million, so Houston traded him to OKC, but now OKC got to find somebody else that either take that contract
wants to pay that,
or pay into it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know who's gonna do that.
Yeah, like that's a massive buyout. Like if I'm Chris Paul, I'm gonna get that bread somewhere else. State Farm endorsements somewhere else. So I'm taking whatever buyout I can get to get on a contender.
Man, listen, it might be time for Chris Paul to write that Dear Basketball letter. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
He still can play. Man, but it's like now it's going to get to the point where he's at that point in his career where he's going to end up playing at places he don't want to play at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he probably going to end up playing at an OKC or go to a Miami team that's not really good, or, those kind of teams. Like, because he don't really have a choice. His contract is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Okay, that's the segue, though. That's the segue, man. Jimmy Butler went to Miami. Do they improve?
I think they don't. I think they stay about the same.
I do too.
Jimmy don't have Jimmy as good as he is. He still don't have the support he needs in Miami.
I think that Jimmy Butler want to be the man, whether that means playoffs and championships or not. Whether he gonna admit it, he wants to be the guy.
But he is a second. He's a second tier guy. Though.
Exactly. He's always been in the shadow of Derrick Rose or Cat or Embiid and Simmons, and now there's nobody else in Miami to take any shine. So if the Heat are trash this year, it's all on him.
So I think that's good for him though, because he gets to see what that feel like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with that said, I think the 76ers improved a lot.
Who they pulled besides Horford and re-signing Tobias?
Well, I felt like Tobias and Butler got in each other's way.
Yeah.
Tobias at the beginning of the year with the Clippers was like nasty, right?
Yeah.
He was nasty. And he went to the 76ers, and a lot of the stuff he was doing for the Clippers, Butler was doing for the Sixers. So he didn't get that time, or he didn't get the opportunity to do those things. So he was playing like fourth fiddle on that team. You know what I'm saying?
I just think it's like Tobias Harris to me has always been that J. Cole looking ass dude who just can never like stay pat in one spot. So I think it's good for him staying with Philly.
But he really played. He really stepped his game up. Like from going from one year to the next, he was really good with the Clippers last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think that him and Butler stepped on each other's toes too much, and Tobias is younger.
Yep.
He has more upside. And the whole 76 team is younger. So I felt like them keeping Tobias and not Jimmy was a good decision for them.
The Sixers can be scary next year, and they could easily be the champions we're talking about.
And Embiid, man.
Yeah.
They got two twin towers, right? They got Horford and Embiid. They got the point guard. He still can't shoot, but they got him, right?
They lost JJ though.
Yeah, they lost JJ.
JJ went to the Pelly Pell.
Al Horford pickup is huge, man.
Yeah.
Al Horford, he's gonna play defense. You can put him in with Embiid. He's a good passer. You know what I mean? Like
Stephen A. and all them dudes was talking about. Horford was usually one of the main cats that always like got inside Embiid's head. Now they teammates. Who in the East is gonna disrupt Joel Embiid?
Listen.
Trust the process.
Listen. The 76 is coming, man. The Sixers coming.
I hate it.
If Embiid can just stay healthy, Sixers gonna be a problem.
All right. Now, ain't no segue for this, but I'm gonna kick myself in the ass if we don't talk about these two teams. One player that affected two teams. Kawhi to the Clippers. Kawhi not with the Raptors. I already got the Clippers penciled in as the Western Conference favorite. I'm not putting them in the finals or nothing like that. We got to see how they gel. But like me and my wife was out. You know what I'm saying? Like one of her coworkers opened a new spot. Go to the backyard if you in Del Rio. Over there by True Value. Shout out. But we came home. And it was like Kawhi Leonard signs with the Clippers, who, for all intensive purposes, I heard was like out. It was between the Lakers and the Raptors. And then on top of that, Paul George traded to the Clippers. Like, my mind was blown. Like, I had a movie on pause and was just watching ESPN for like 20 minutes. Like, how did this happen? And like you said at the top, like, it's a player-dominated league now. Excuse me, for all we know, for all that's being reported, PG went into the OKC offices and was like, trade me to the Clippers. And they was like, cool, we don't want a toxic locker room, and they got a king's ransom in return.
I think that the Clippers, because of Lou Williams, man, the Clippers are scary.
Yeah, they kept Lou Will. They kept Trez. They kept Beverly. Like, the Clippers are about to be nasty.
I think the Clippers are going to be good, but I think that they need a year. I still think they need a year. I think Paul George, Kawhi Leonard together needs a year. Because of to me, Kawhi and PG play a lot alike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, of course, Kawhi, but they both, I think they play a lot alike. I think they shoot from a lot of the same spots. You know what I mean? So I think they need a year to adjust to each other, but I think they're going to be scary. I think the West, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Rockets, and the Warriors are either going to go one or two ways. I think all four of those teams are going to either be really good or they're going to not be so good. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way around it. So I think either LeBron and AD are going to be, they're going to get the supporting cast or they're not, and they're just going to be okay. And I feel like the Clippers are the one team that's pretty much like, we're going to be good. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see. I think the Warriors are the same way. The Warriors are either going to be really good or just mediocre.
Because, I mean, until Toronto, the Clippers gave Golden State their best fight. Yeah.
So, it's I think that the Warriors offseason has been really good for what they lost Kevin Durant, picked up D'Lo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then they picked up what's the guy's name? Willie
Cauley-Stein.
Yeah.
From Sacramento.
I think he's a big pickup for them.
Yeah.
Because he's athletic.
He's good.
He can run the court. Got good footwork. You know what I mean? Like, can play defense.
Facts.
So I think that's big. They kept Looney, which I think Looney is on the up.
Kevon Looney is good, man.
So I feel like they're going to start Looney. They'll probably start the Willie dude or whatever. Or Looney has to be first off the bench, and they'll start Draymond, and that Willie kid will probably start.
Yeah.
And then they'll have the three-headed monster when Clay come back. But, I mean, starting Looney with the Willie kid and Draymond in the front court, and then having Steph and D'Lo in the back ain't bad.
On the flip, how do you feel like Kawhi leaving Toronto is going to affect them?
I think Toronto in the East is going to be respected, but I think that in the playoffs they're going to have problems. Yeah. No, you know what? Because what I learned about Toronto in the playoffs, even though they had Kawhi, was that that kid is on the come up, man. What's his name?
Hurt Kawhi.
Huh?
A hurt Kawhi. They had a hurt Kawhi murderer's road through the Eastern Conference. You talking about Pascal Siakam, and that's the reason. That's the reason PG and Russ didn't get traded to the Raptors, because Masai Ujiri, is that his name?
Yeah.
He didn't want to trade Pascal. He didn't want to trade Siakam.
I think Siakam is.
He's dope.
The playoffs
He's real
really
dope.
Benefited him, and he learned a lot in the playoffs. And I think his confidence is at an all-time high now. So I think we're going to see a scary Siakam this season. I think Kyle Lowry, because he got that hump off his back of can't win, blah, 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 I think he's going to play more freely. I think Toronto's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to be okay, but they're going to get pushed around in the East by a couple teams, but everybody else is not good. So
I think the Raptors, because, I mean, Kawhi left, DeRozan gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't get anything in return from the Clippers for Kawhi. So it's Pascal and it's Kyle Lowry holding it down. Serge Ibaka, and hold on, but they got some pieces. Marc Gasol.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, for the most part in the East, they're gonna be okay. But it's a few teams. Like I think Indiana. I think the Celtics. I think Indiana, the Celtics, Brooklyn probably. And probably one more team in the East is gonna kind of push them around, but everybody else they're gonna beat.
Milwaukee.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be, even with this roster they have is just dawning on me as we speak. But I still think they're gonna be a road Eastern Conference playoff team, first round out. But even with that being said, like, I think as much as I want my Pacers to be world beaters, Vic rumored to come back December, January, and even at that, he gonna be rusty. So, like, we picked up Brogdon, we picked up Jeremy Lamb, we still got Miles, we still got Sabonis. I think it's gonna be a rough start to the season for us. So I think that we might be like the third straight year of 5 seed, or we might be another road playoff team, and it's just a product of coming back from injury. But if Vic is looking good in some of these like workout videos he's putting on social media, if he can get back earlier than projected, hey man, we might be shooting for 3-4. And then
I don't see why y'all wouldn't get like let's name like based on the Eastern Conference teams, right?
Milwaukee.
Who's gonna be super good in the East? Super good, like that one team that we're like, oh, okay.
Bucks and Sixers.
The Sixers. So I see Sixers as being number one. The Bucks lost Brogdon, right?
That's right.
So the Bucks are gonna either
they re-signed Middleton though.
To 3 or 4.
They re-signed.
The Sixers gonna be number one.
They re-signed the Bucks. Re-signed Middleton. They got both Lopez brothers. I don't think they got a free agent, but I don't know.
Giannis is a beast.
I like Bledsoe.
But Giannis is a beast. So the Sixers won, and then the Bucks 2, right?
I can rock with that.
After that, it's kind of like everybody else is kind of like. I feel like y'all are like the Indiana Pacers is probably like the next best team, like overall. And I got Toronto being probably around 4 or 5.
The state of Indiana appreciates that. I think Kemba Walker was a really underrated pickup for Boston. So I think he'll gel with like Jason Tatum and them dudes better than Kyrie did.
But them losing Kyrie Irving was fine.
Yeah.
But they lost Al Horford, man.
Yeah.
And they lost old boy that went to the Knicks, right?
Morris.
Yeah.
He did the Spurs so dirty.
Yeah.
He did the Spurs super dirtball.
But you got to think the Celtics that when Kyrie didn't play, right? And they went to the playoffs and they went deep or whatever, they still had Morris, they still had Al Horford, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the Celtics takes a step back too because losing Al Horford and losing Morris is going to hurt them.
Yeah.
Even with the young boys. I think Kemba is going to take over the Kyrie role, but nobody's taking over the Al Horford and Morris role. So, you know.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are a wait and see. I don't know. With them.
Yeah. And then I think we covered most of the big moves.
How do you see the Lakers? You didn't say nothing about the Lakers, which is how you feel about the Lakers? I
want to see the Lakers do good. Like I'm ready for the Lakers as like many trash years as they've endured. I'm ready for the Lakers to be back in the playoffs, no matter what the seed, because I think they're in the playoffs last year if LeBron and Lonzo don't get hurt.
Yeah, probably. It's kind of hard. You tell me you have a team with LeBron and AD on it. They in the playoffs.
You know what I'm saying? Like they have to.
There ain't no way.
But
I feel like me and you could be on that team and they should be in the playoffs still.
Oh shit, I'm starting Waterboy.
You know what I'm saying?
But
like I don't know.
One team that we must address before we move on, before we go to this last segment to round out the show, the Utah Jazz are gonna be extra nice. Mike Conley going to Utah is huge.
Utah is gonna be a problem. I like Utah.
Yeah.
And they're like well rounded at every position. That's what's dope about them.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Utah.
Utah gonna be that team. Utah is a home court playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's like 6 teams that you can argue are home court playoff teams with only 4 available seeds.
Yeah.
But Utah makes it.
Utah's gonna make some noise. They're getting overshadowed by all the big news of all the other teams, but
yeah.
Utah's gonna be. I think Utah's going to beat some of these teams we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And it's
I need
like
my boy Mitchell to come through this year. I need him to be a problem.
Yeah. Donovan Mitchell got to make All-Star.
That's my guy.
But it's like for Utah to get that home court, like there's going to be a Houston, a Golden State, a Portland that falls out that you don't want to see, but it's just the nature of the beast. But appreciate you jumping in. We're going to chop it up as much as I can get you on the show, but I'm going to bring in another homeboy right quick. We're gonna chop it up, get different points of view. We're going to bring back Legacy, and we're going to talk about this Dreamville Revenge of the Dreamers 3. Hey, man, like just like we did with Legacy, we got my guy, International O. Parts unknown. Where in the world is Orlando San Diego right now? So if you on the YouTube, his end might be a little bit pixelated, but we're going to work with what we got. If you on the Anchor, if you on the audio-only podcasting, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Just listen. So NBA free agency, man. If you want to focus on specific players, specific teams, whatever you want to do, however you react to this madness. I know players been able to like officially commit and sign for like 8 days, man, but just Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Chris Paul, whatever your reactions to whoever you want to talk about, man.
Well, first, man, let's touch base on what happened last, man, with Houston and the damn Thunder. Caught me straight up off guard.
Straight up off guard.
Like, talk about tearing the whole franchise down. So, with Russ going to the Rockets, man, that's a huge move, because not just for this year, but you got the next 4 years with Russ. And so you get off Chris Paul's contract, which is like atrocious. It's like worse than John Wall. So from what I'm hearing, he might get bought out if he doesn't get traded to Miami. So he probably will actually end back up in LA, from what I have heard. Not from my sources, but this, I just heard. I hear around.
Orlando Woj.
But hey, and then with all the picks that the Thunder have collected, I mean, those are some nice pieces to have for the future. And then if they can flip Dennis Schroeder for another pick, that'll be cool. And then you got Gallinari's expiring contract too.
Yeah.
So that could also get flipped for another pick. So unless they're just trying to free up cap space for the future.
Man, it's like,
but Houston's gonna be a problem because they didn't have to get rid of Eric Gordon, nor Capella, nor PJ Tucker. So they got the whole squad.
Yeah.
Probably like the nicest starting five in the league. So they can go like small ball. Russ, Tucker at the 4, Gordon at the 3, and then you got Capella. That's gonna be nice. So I definitely have to look at the Rockets, and then I think they're back in the top 3. Because how they fell off. They weren't even in like consideration to win the West anymore after the Clippers trade. So, but they, I don't know if you heard. What were you gonna say?
It's like you want to feel bad for Thunder fans because they went from like top 10, arguably top 10 team in the league to home court in the West in less than a week to a top 10 lottery pick. So you want to feel bad for them. But after all the recklessness they talked about after the Paul George trade from Indy, I kind of like...
Fuck you.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but they had a great run.
They had a great run.
A great run. And I wish the Pacers could have made the NBA Finals in the past, like 6 years.
You know what I mean?
But, you get the PG injury happening. We actually made out well. I mean, we'll just see if Oladipo gets back healthy. That's key because if he's not right, it might be a wrap.
Yeah, like he's gonna come back a little rusty, but yeah.
Hey, so check this out. Because I think actually Dikembe Mutombo had the same injury into his career. Granted, he was older.
Oh, word?
But he had the same injury. Yeah, go back and I think it's like 2002. So go back and look at that. But I think Mutombo had the same injury. Granted, like he was like in the league for like 20, almost like 17 plus years.
Yeah.
Then, and so he has a different body frame. Plus he's like 7 foot. But he had a set up shot.
Hey, but Vic been looking good in these recovery videos.
Really?
Yeah. He'll post them on Instagram, Twitter every so often. He getting them shots up, getting workouts in.
Shit, and then since we on the Pacers, man, I like that Malcolm Brogdon pickup. Is he worth The 85 mil, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch too many Bucks games this year, so like my only experience with Malcolm is through college basketball. So, and he is a pretty solid player from watching that.
Yeah,
but,
it's just like we need Brogdon, Lamb, Miles, and Sabonis to just hold it down until Oladipo can come back.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I would trade Miles Turner though. I
can see it coming.
Get him up out of there because he's okay. He's like one of those. He's gonna be one of those role players that gets bounced around in the league because I don't think he's getting another extension from the Pacers.
No.
So, but go back to this, bro. We had the Pacers drafted Kawhi Leonard and Paul George technically,
but who's to say if we didn't want George Hill that year? Like,
want to talk about it.
We chopped this up 1-on-1. If we didn't want George Hill, who's to say who we would have gotten that season?
Oh, you had Darren Collison. We could have kept Darren Collison, bro.
Yeah.
Because I remember that trick. Man, that, like, arguably the worst trade in NBA history. George Hill for Kawhi Leonard. But that's for another day.
Yeah, we try to talk about positive predictions.
I guess we can jump back into positive.
You already talked about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. You already brought him up. Man. Just go to the Clippers.
Unexpected. I mean, we know what Kawhi Leonard is, but we don't know what Paul George is. And every year Paul George is in the conversation of as two-way player in the regular season, but come playoff time, what are we getting?
Damian Lillard busted his head.
He's nice. He's a nice like piece, but I think he's almost like a Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
you can't win. He can't be the number one player and win. So maybe he'll build a good piece with Kawhi.
Yeah.
Because I feel that do better than LeBron or AD or even James Harden or Russell Westbrook. So I don't know. Granted, they have like the best. I think they have one of the best teams.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly and
Lou Williams.
They have one of the deepest benches too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they a monster of a bench. So I love their bench. Granted, besides Kawhi and Paul, Kawhi's gonna miss some games, maybe due to like low management again. So if Paul's your number one, who else in the starting five is going to give you scoring? So that might be an issue because I don't think Beverly's going to be that.
He's a disruptor. He's a defensive.
He's there for defense.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. He's not an efficient scorer. Their power forward, I don't even know his name, nor their center. They had Zubac. From the Lakers that they re-signed. But can they get you 85 points a game? Just that starting five, the Kawhi missing like 20 games.
Yeah, that's the thing too, man. Is Kawhi still going to sit out back to backs?
I'm wondering.
Yeah.
And then who else? You got the Lakers. The Lakers, I don't know, man. I think the Lakers, they missed out on a lot of big free agents. They had a lot of, let's say, Jared Dudley. I can see my facial expression right now. I guess he's an okay pick, but I like that Avery Bradley pickup. That's a real big pickup for them.
Your homeboy Danny Green.
Bringing Rondo back. So I guess we just have to see in time what their squad is going to be. Their squad is going to look like.
Yeah.
A lot of veterans. I like that. You can't go wrong with veterans on your team. So, and I think with three of them. If Rondo starts and Danny Green starts, and then you got LeBron, so you got 3 guys with championship experience on your team. So that experience helps.
Yeah.
So I think the Lakers, like, down the road, might have a decent squad, to be honest. I was just hoping they signed Kyle Korver to, like, solidify that roster. But
Did Phoenix cut him yet?
What'd you say?
Did Phoenix let him go yet?
Yeah, he got waived.
Yeah, okay. So it's still possible.
Yeah. So, then who else? So we got the Jazz, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Low key might be that squad.
Yeah.
Might be that squad. So
the Jazz are gonna be one of the most fun teams to watch this year. Oh, man, I can't believe they got Bogey. That hurt.
In all season. I feel like the West is gonna be like the most exciting basketball to watch, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then you still got the Spurs. Granted, they didn't make any splash moves this year.
Nah, Pop will find a way, man. He always does.
Consistent in place, but they got my guy. Yeah, but they got my guy at point guard coming back this year too.
DeJounte Murray.
Yes, he got injured last year, so he's coming back. So the West is gonna be legit this year, and like, low key the East is too.
Yeah.
I think Boston gets better without. Boston will have a better record without Kyrie.
Yeah, Kemba's an underrated pickup.
I think I said this on last year's podcast about like the start of NBA basketball. Like, I think I said they should trade Kyrie. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I mentioned they were better without Kyrie.
We're gonna have to go back into the archives. It sounds like something you say.
Brad Stevens is yeah. I mean, he's better with. It's like the Butler way, if you're not all 100% in, his system's not gonna work. It's never been about individual guys. It's always been about the team. So I like Kemba to make that Isaiah Thomas feel.
That's how I look at it too.
He's a little bit more explosive.
Hey, speaking of, that's what me and my last guy didn't talk about.
I think
with IT going to Washington while John Wall recovering, I hope IT get back to them Boston days.
He had a chance to, and then you got Bradley Beal, so maybe that could be a 1-2 punch, that underrated, not talked about 1-2 punch that could get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, are you putting in Washington in your top 8 right now with your squad?
I ain't saying all that.
I still can't. I can't. Cause you in the bottom of the East, you got the Pistons, the Heat,
Magic.
Are you putting the Pacers in the bottom 8?
Because of Vic, because of how, depending on how Vic come back, I think they'll be a road playoff team.
Yeah, and so that's 3 right there. So you got the Magic in there in that mix. So, it's like we'll see. But and then you got the Sixers.
Yeah.
Bringing in Al Horford.
Re-sign Tobias.
So they have a complete squad. Hopefully Ben Simmons has a jump shot come October.
Yeah.
I'll probably shoot more threes than Ben Simmons. Man. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm like, if I get that much space, I'm gonna hit one.
Right.
So, but I think they offered. Did he sign that extension that they offered him?
Simmons.
I know they offered like 4. I thought they offered 4 years to 170.
Yeah, I've just heard about the offer.
He actually signed that extension though.
I don't know.
So. If I was them, I wouldn't have offered that because I can't have a point guard who can't shoot.
Yep. Hell yeah.
So I'm like, that's a no go. That's a no go.
And then
shit, but
does Brooklyn stay in? Does Kyrie get Brooklyn in, and then KD come back in time to make a run?
we we didn't even talk about that. I think that shit is not even going off the tracks. Like, it was a good signing, but
before Durant come back,
Kyrie's not that guy. Like, Kyrie's not that guy.
You don't think Brooklyn makes the playoffs?
Kyrie is not that guy. No, Brooklyn will probably make the playoffs because they have the core of that team that was there last year.
Dinwiddie, Jared Allen.
But dude, Kyrie is just, he's one of those dudes that I just will never have on my basketball team.
Them fans gonna be like, trade back for D'Lo.
Hey, but people are not talking about this. This could arguably be one of the worst deals in like NBA history if Durant doesn't come back fully healthy. We're all banking that he comes back.
That's just gonna be the Nets history. Not bad deal.
Come back. Bro, not everyone comes back from an Achilles, man.
Yeah.
Like, you tore your Achilles, and people are saying like, "Oh, this is like the best of the NBA." No, bro, like that's not a guarantee that he even comes back 50% of what he was.
Yeah.
He might not be able to move like he, was able to do. So it's just like, man, we'll see. There's a lot of unspoken things that people are talking about. Paul George, getting traded, like that's a big move. Paul George is not that dude. Like, he's a glorified B+ player. The team that no one's talking about is the Pelicans. Low key, they actually have a squad starting from point guard to center.
Yeah, Drew Holiday is one of the most underrated.
If they don't ship him, they could probably make the playoffs. Even if they should with Lonzo, but even Lonzo coming off the second string, what?
And then Ingram,
like that they have a squad. They have a squad.
Ingram got to come back healthy, man.
And yeah, I don't know his medical problems. So
he had like that Chris Bosh nerve type stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the medical staff is clear him to play or not.
Yeah.
And then another team that I want to see the Suns make a damn push.
Yeah.
Hopefully this year, man, because they got too much talent, man.
Yeah, Devin Booker needs some playoffs.
Even though I don't Ricky Rubio as a player, like maybe he'll bring some leadership and solidify that point guard spot. And then we didn't even talk about the Warriors signing D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, like I was on my way there.
I think that's gonna be deadly.
Yeah.
People are like, throwing shade on it. I think that's gonna be because at any given time you can have Looney in there, Draymond is playing the 4, and then eventually when Clay comes back, 3, D'Angelo at the 2, and then Steph at the point. That you can't double team anybody.
Curry mode coming back straight up. Yeah. They picked up Willie Cauley-Stein from the Kings.
Oh yeah. So they should be right back on track. I'm looking forward to seeing who Iggy and Sean Livingston signs with them.
Yeah.
I think they can play a huge role.
Yeah, they both still want to play.
One of those contenders. Yeah. But I think the same goes with like Milwaukee. It's like the status quo.
Yeah.
I don't think they're losing any. They'll probably win. They'll probably win more than 60 games this year. So I think Giannis is motivated.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I can see them winning 64 games this year. I'll put them at winning 64 games this year. I think Giannis is gonna go off this year.
Probably. He just keeps getting better.
Even though he won MVP, I think he's gonna take it to that next level, man. So. And then they got Robin and Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, we'll see, brother. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
Hell yeah, man! I'm telling you, I can't wait for NBA to come back, man. It's only been going a month, and I'm like fiending. Like, where does basketball at, man? But I appreciate you jumping in. I'll definitely bring you back in college football, NFL predictions, something around that time, man.
We definitely got. Well, you know, I'll be at his Labor Day weekend.
What's up? I don't know, man. Getting extra pixelated, man. So.
I'll be in a few days. I'll do this or there.
I don't know, man. When I come back, though, we going to have some type of music, maybe some more sports, depending on who I can get to patch in, man. But it is Rec League, man. Stay tuned. Yo, time to get beamed up. The shit that I live, y'all couldn't even dream up. Bitch, my team tough. Tony Stark, I earn, man. Can never accept no free stuff. You dudes seem tough, but you really just cream puffs. Circle City, and I'm just trying to big the East up. Ain't trying to team up. Got my team hungry. We finna flip. Oh, that's nice. Delete. I stuttered, dude. It happened. Yo, time to get beamed up. The shit I live, y'all can't even dream up. Bitch, my team tough. Tony Stark, I earn, man. Can never accept no free stuff. You dudes seem tough, but you really just cream puffs. Circle City, and I'm just trying to big the East up. Ain't trying to team up. Got my team hungry, and we finna feast up. Go ahead and stream us. We stay in the streets like we been kicked out and our lease up. And my dog's on the prowl, no leash, bruh. So when you hear the growl, stay behind locked doors under the box spring containing your sheets, bruh. The flames is back. Grab the red can, pin pulled, aim at the base and spray at that. This ain't a game, in fact. You better count your blessings if I leave your face intact. Won't hush till I'm the face of rap. These motherfuckers heard of me. The burns is 3rd degree and that's after surgery. They say they gonna murder me, but they say that shit nervously. Claim to be straight up printed, but they crooked as cursive B. And I'm petty too. Not a soul breathing worse than me. Alright, it's his hip hop. I know for the 1 or 2 people that watch and listen to Rec League podcast, you know, we've been slacking on the hip hop segment, but I'm about to throw old man Lawrence all the way under the bus because he got camera defectiveness with his phone and Skype capabilities.
Yo, leave my brother alone, man.
It is what it is, man, because he listened to damn near everything, so I like to get his input on damn near everything, and like I just haven't had a lot of time to listen to new shit lately, and blame me for re-listening to the It audiobook before Chapter 2 come out. So, got my dog Legacy. Y'all just seen him in sports. He back for first time calendar year 2019. Revenge of the Dreamers 3 came out. Biggest J. Cole fan that I know. I want to know the highs and lows, how you felt about this album. Just go in, man.
All right, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. Like my partner just said, I'm probably the biggest J. Cole fan he know. So I've been following the Revenge of the Dreamers, I guess, trilogy at this point. They got 3 of them.
Yep.
And if you follow them like I have, then you know, like, the first Revenge of the Dreamers was J. Cole and a bunch of who is this, you know?
Yeah.
In the first one, nobody really knew who his artists were. And then the second one, Boss was kind of creating a wave for himself, so people knew who Boss was and nobody else. And on this one, I feel like J. Cole has like made his team concrete. Like everybody knows Kaz and JID and Ari and Boss. So like this was the album where they're saying, listen, we here now, y'all know who we are, and it's a takeover, pretty much. And the promotion for this album was A1, A+. Like they was like, you know, I seen Twitter, I seen Instagram where they were like, oh, it's coming. They were dropping little snippets. They were putting videos on YouTube. Like this is coming, and everybody was feeling like, yo, they need to hurry the drop when it's coming, blah blah blah. So them as far as selling the album, they did an amazing job selling the album.
Yeah.
Promoting like all the different artists that was gonna be on it. This wasn't gonna be just about Dreamville, but it's gonna be everybody that they rock with. I thought they did a good job selling the album. The album itself, listening to it, I love the album. It's hard, like it meant a lot for me. It means a lot for me saying that, because I'm as big a hip hop fan as I am. I don't really listen to everybody in hip hop anymore. Like, I'm not on that level. And this album, I think they said this album had like 60 features on it. You know what I mean? Like 60.
Yeah.
And they just broke some record for hip hop of having the most features for a #1 album. Yeah. Which is something that ain't never been done before. So that's big.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I listened to a lot of artists on this album that I would never listen to otherwise. And I felt like a lot of these artists delivered. You know what I mean? And they brought a different sound, and they made J. Cole reach further to step out of his comfort zone, which he's been doing a lot lately with the features that he's been doing.
Yeah.
But I really like the album. It's an album that I listen to, and I'm a person that goes running. This is the album that I turn on and I just let play. Like it has highs and lows, and it's high energy, and you could tell they was having fun creating the album. Like they did a lot with it. I feel like the true like lyricists, hip hop, maybe J. Cole fans, like some might not appreciate this album as much because there was a lot of not traditional rappers on it too. You know what I mean? So when it comes to that, it's either you're gonna like it or you're not. You know what I mean? Yeah. I liked it because it was creative. Like it was weird, like seeing J. Cole like work on some of the beats that he worked on. Like, you know what I mean? Like he did for some beats that like he normally wouldn't. He worked with some artists he normally wouldn't. He rapped about subjects he normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
I thought J. Cole shined on this compilation album. Like I thought every song that he was on pretty much, he delivered. Like that's how I feel. I thought that the Dreamville team like was great on this album. Like they had 60 people on here. You know what I mean? And the standouts to me was Kaz, Boss, Ari, and JID. JID is a problem. I'm letting people know right now. JID is a problem. He's young. He's a problem. I felt like this album had a lot of artists on it, but the Dreamville team was the standouts, which is good for them on their own project. You know what I mean? Because you have artists from Top Dog, Kendrick's label on there. You have artists like that's hot right now, and for Dreamville to stand out, it's like we belong here. So I thought that was dope. I thought that they did a good job with that. I remember back when For Your Eyes Only first dropped. I think it was For Your Eyes when For Your Eyes Only first dropped. I went to a J. Cole concert like a long time ago, and I remember hitting you up, Randy, and saying, because I was watching the concert and I got there early, so they had the early shows or whatever before J. Cole came out or whatever, and I was telling you, I was like, man, it's this kid, man, I don't know who it is, but he can rap. Like, this dude is nice, blah, 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 blah. And years later, come and find out it was JID. If he was a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember mentioning that to you. It's crazy to see, because For Your Eyes Only wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean? But to see him come from the guy that they were putting on stage to rap before J. Cole come out to where he is now, where everybody's like, yo, JID might be the second best in Dreamville. It's crazy. You know what I mean? I thought he really did a good job on this album. Like, I think JID, more than anybody, left his imprint on this album. You know what I mean? So I thought it was very dope. I could see the criticisms and why people don't like it. I could see that too. But it was a compilation album. I feel like they just wanted to have fun, and it was a reason for Dreamville to drop something. You know what I mean? And it didn't have to be so serious. If they just did a Revenge of the Dreamers 3, and it was all about Dreamville, then it would have had to be serious, and it would have had to been critiqued, and JID would have had to live up to Kaz, and Kaz would have had to live up to Boss, and Boss would have had to live up to J. Cole, and that's hard to do. You know what I mean? So I thought it was a little more. I thought they could, like, I feel like it was more of a, let's let our hair down, have fun, invite as many artists as we fuck with.
Yeah.
Like, invite all of them, and let's just have a good time doing this. And then they could just show their talents that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't uptight. So I felt like that's what they were going for, and I feel like they delivered with that. You know what I mean? So
I definitely plan on spinning it a couple more times. What out of 5, what you give it?
Out of 5? Like, based on what I'm, like, if I'm rating it as a regular album, like a group album, like in comparison to like a Wu-Tang or something like that, then probably like a 3 or something like that. But as a compilation album, there's been a few compilation hip hop albums out there. As a compilation album, I give it like a 4.5. Like as a mix, like I look at it more like a mixtape than I do a series album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as in a mixtape world with a bunch of artists on something, like the production was dope, the beats were dope to me. Everybody, based on their skill level, delivered lyrically, like I feel. And I feel like Dreamville really delivered. So about a 3 as a major project that they were advertising, but I'm giving it a 3. I'm giving it a 3 based on what the consensus is. I really like it. I listen to it all the time.
Yeah,
so,
that's what's up.
You know what I mean? So I thought it was good.
Keep your calendar open. In 2 weeks, next episode, we're going to chop it up over that big crit. That crit is here. I haven't had a chance to spin it yet. I know old man Lawrence has. Hopefully he can jump in with us. And that is it for episode 21 of the Rec League podcast, man. So chill until the next episode.